I got a long list of stuff to do today, and I really should get started as early as possible. But all right, so we're at the halfway point of our run today, and it's one of my favorite places. I love Lincoln Park. But I actually think that pausing in the middle of this run is the perfect opportunity to talk about something that has been on my mind. And that is the difference between starting over and continuing. So on our run back, we would say that I was continuing the run, that we were continuing the run, right? But if I waited a week or a month, then it's like, well, I'm going to be starting over running. Okay, so maybe time is a factor. But we put so much pressure on the idea of starting over. And I think that a lot of it is because we know how much it took to get started the first time. And so our mind goes back to that time thinking, oh my gosh, I had to learn so much to get started. So for instance, with this vlog, when I first started the vlog, I had to figure out what was going to be the style, what was going to be the lessons, what am I trying to do with it? And so then taking an 8-month pause, mentally you're like, oh my God, that was so hard. But the truth of the matter is, I've learned and experienced so much more in the 8 months since making it that maybe now I can solve some of those challenges that I had before and be more consistent with it. So I recently had a friend who had a newsletter, and it was super consistent, great information. And with the past year, she had to hit pause, and recently brought it back, and it was so great to see it again. Message was on point again, and it felt like picking up right where she left off. And her newsletter was also about the struggles of starting over. And I said to her, you're not starting over, you're choosing to continue. And you're choosing to continue because you like writing the newsletter, you find value in writing it for people, but also you already know the style, the tone, the font choice, right? All these little decisions that went into getting it started initially, you don't have to do again. So we're going to continue our vlog and our run. All right, bye puppies. Bye. You always got to say goodbye before you go. So here's what just happened. One of the things that I need to do today is a lot of design work. I got to do new business cards. I got to work on our new holiday guide. The problem is that I just remembered that I left my laptop at the salon last night. So that means that I can't start yet. And I got to go into work in order to start my work instead of starting from here. So that's where I'm headed now. All right, so I'm going to get started on making some new business cards. Now, there's a couple of things that come to mind when I think of business cards. And one is they're old and dead, and I don't really get them because I've never, in my mind, asked or kept a business card. With social today, I just feel like you can find just about anybody that you want, but I'm being told that people want them. Another couple of things come to mind, which is experiences from the past. I remember about 15 years ago, we had a stylist that she needed business cards. Now, at the time, we didn't provide them, but we provided the template for them. And our colors were sort of a blue and a green, somewhat earthy tones or whatever. Well, she didn't feel like that was her brand, so she got our business cards with our name and logo and identity printed in bright pink and black. And I just remember being like, that's not the assignment. Right? Like, that's not why we provided the template. But it was kind of our fault for not just providing the card. Another story that comes to mind is at one time we had somebody that she did not get new business cards when she ran out because she couldn't afford to do them. Or somebody else didn't want to pay for them, so they got free business cards, which then did not have our name and logo and like the proper branding. And so these are all things that have come up when we didn't fully provide the tools. And I really believe that as a owner or as a business, when you're trying to empower your stylists and your team and your employees to grow, it's your responsibility to provide the tools in order to do so. So since we last made up business cards, people have run out. We've also redone our logo and gone back to our old school logo. So I'm going to jump in and put something together so that people can have tools. So I think I'm pretty close to my finished design here. Like, it's just a little refresh, but it doesn't take a long time when you're starting with a template, right? So like, I have a lot of the things that were already elements that I wanted to use. I already had the logo. I'm not really recreating anything, but because I have a template saved, it can save me time when I just jump back in to refresh stuff. All right, so just finished up at this one location, got the cards done. Now we're gonna head over to the other salon location because I got a 1 o'clock meeting with the bank. All right, so the guy from the bank isn't quite here yet, which is nice. Gives me a little bit of time to finish up the details on those other business cards. I thought of another story though on my drive over here. So years ago, when we were doing our printed goods, I wanted everything to be the same. Our menus, our business cards, any sort of like flyer or whatever we're doing. I wanted it all to be consistent and I wanted it all to be on the same paper, right? So of course, the day that I place my order, our printer says, hey, just so you know, they're discontinuing that paper. And I was like, that's not good. So we bought all that we could ahead of time so that we would be able to print on it. We printed on that paper for years because it was exactly what we wanted for the brand. Eventually, every single time I would go to order, he would say, hey, just so you know, we're running out of the paper. So eventually, we wanted to change our style, change the look. And I said, can we just print enough cards on whatever we have left in stock? And he's like, are you sure? And I said, yeah, it should be fine. Now, previously to this, I had been ordering cards in quantities of like 500, 1,000, maybe if it was a big order. This guy doesn't ask anything. He doesn't clarify anything. He prints and sends us 11,000 business cards. We had those things for years.
Dig this.
I think I'm going to pause the vlog here for today. I'm headed home, gotta walk the dogs, take care of them. Still got some other stuff to work on at home, but it's just kind of following up on business cards and printed goods, and I already showed you a lot of that. So, pausing here, and you know what? We'll continue it tomorrow.
Check this out. Now dig this, man.